L. Johnson's eventual defeat, and Lancelot, or in this case Luther's, fall from grace. Also, in the name of their Primarch, Lionel Johnson, is the inspiration by the English poet Lionel Johnson, the author of The Dark Angel. The conflict between Luther and Lion Johnson would precipitate the destruction of the Legion's homeworld, Caliban, where we first find L. Johnson, and lead to his eventual disappearance. Luther's actions became the heart of the terrible secret that would define the Dark Angels and all of their unforgiven successors for millennia to come. In the eyes of the chapter's leaders, there is only one way that the chapter can ever atone for its shame, restoring its honor and trust in the eyes of the Emperor. All of the fallen must be found and either be made to repent of their ancient sins or slain. The legendary Inquisitor Balastek Grimm is quoted as having said, "Since the founding of their legion and the birth of the Imperium, the Space Marines of the Dark Angels have been dreaded by their enemies and held in awe by those they protect. Stubborn and relentless in battle, ever vigilant and zealous in the pursuit of their duties, the Dark Angels are among the Emperor's most faithful servants, yet it was not always so. For 10 millennia, the Dark Angels have harbored this sinister secret, an act so terrible and shameful it threatens everything that they hold most dear and may yet bring them to eternal damnation." Because of all this background lore, Games Workshop in more recent years has restricted information around the Dark Angels to emphasize the mystery of this betrayal and the lore surrounding the chapter. Particularly, the fate of Lion L. Johnson until now had been purposefully left out of all texts until the second edition codex, Angels of Death. The first dedicated codex for the Dark Angels and Blood Angels, it came out as a combo codex and featured them both from the mid-1990s. The lore of the Dark Angels would only reemerge in the 2001 Index Astartes article published in White Dwarf magazine. While the inner circle of the chapter knew of the existence of Luther's stasis cell beneath the rock, there is another chamber at the very heart of the rock that is unknown to all but the Watchers in the Dark and the Emperor himself. This secret chamber would come back in the Arcs of Omen campaign, being revealed to contain the still sleeping form of Lion L. Johnson after 10,000 years. His awakening during the Arcs of Omen campaign began during the era Indomitus. Similarly, information regarding the Chaos Space Marines character Cypher, rumored to be the foremost of the Fallen, is kept vague to further fuel players' imaginations. But now that the Lion has been awakened into the galaxy of darkness and insanity, he strides between the stars on a mission of vengeance. We wouldn't see the first real Dark Angels models until 1995. The second edition Angels of Death Codex would also come with some of the first Dark Angels characters. Sculpted by Jess Goodwin and made in metal, few of them in plastic, we saw the original Azrael, Asmodai, Ezekiel, and just regular Dark Angel sergeants, sarcophagi, and regular stuff. We wouldn't see the line come to plastic until 2012 in 6th edition, when the Dark Vengeance box set was released, bringing back Balthazar, the company master, Thermiel, the librarian, as well as in a limited edition of the Dark Vengeance box, you would see Seraphius, the interrogator chaplain, come to plastic if you had that one. More recently, in 2023, as 10th edition has come out, we have seen the Azrael model come to plastic, as well as Lionel Johnson, as he was revealed in the Arcs of Omen campaign. Now, following the release of all these fantastic-looking models, by the way, we have just had unveiled a new box with Deathwing Terminators. Inside this box, we have seen our first glimpses into the Codex for Dark Angels of the 10th edition. Cody, I will let you start with your opening notes regarding this Codex.
So I think uh, the Codex has received a lot of negative feedback, as I'm sure Ryan will agree. But there are some positives too. Uh, I, I think one of the biggest positives is getting some of these models to just updated kits. Um, it kind of loses a little of the luster when the models aren't super anticipated to be put on the table. But
Right.
yeah, I think Ryan would probably be able to speak to some of the strengths and weaknesses and just kind of the overall excitement of someone from that community.
Ryan, as a Dark
I'd say a
Angel,
whole lot.
Yeah, I know myself as not playing Dark Angels, I was excited by it because it's one less army I have to worry about in the meta. But what's your take on it, Ryan?
There's only one way to play Dark Angels in the new book, and oddly enough, it is focused around not running any of the Dark Angel models for the most part. It's a little bit of meta cheese with how the rules work. Other than that, the book doesn't really promote you for wanting to play Dark Angels, just Space Marines running Dark Angel detachment.
which is a little ironic considering that Dark Angels spent most of the edition using their models with regular detachments.
Yes, what I think happened and we can like view this as any other way, but there was a slight time when Dark Angels was really strong in 10th edition, around the time, and Cody probably remembers this, around the time when the first batch of nerfs came out, before Oath of Moment got nerfed, so like before the first codexes, they did a round of nerfs to kind of bring Eldar and Knights and all that in, and Dark Angels stood up and were a pretty strong faction. Wasn't the strongest, but they were probably the best Space Marines at the time.
Yeah, I think at the time, Black Templars was a little under tested, and Dark Angels just kind of came out having the Primarch of the Lion to kind of just bully a lot of people, made them kind of a really good army.
Dropped. He was a monster with a lot of the rules that they decided to drop in the edition. He is a 3-up invuln save at launch, and back when devastating wounds were mortal wounds, he possessed a 4-up Feel Pain against mortal wounds, which made it impossible to just devastate right through that 3-up invuln, and it made him a complete monster to try and remove from the battlefield.
Right. And then the problem is after that, a couple of changes happened. Devastating wounds no longer doing mortals, so the Lion could pretty much fall fairly easily. I took him out of my lists because of that. Just a couple other things. Dark Angels slipped a little bit, but they were still fine and playable after that. But I think that initial push of what happened was probably around the time that they started working on these codexes, because they work on these codexes like 6 months in advance. So there could be a point where you can see a whole bunch of where they targeted the nerfs was the big, huge, popular things at that time. And now they're almost unplayable because we've received so many nerfs since then that by the time these rules that they have been adjusting for that current meta that back then, they are now too far. They're just now a nail in the coffin.
Not dissimilarly to the way that Oath's opponent was just completely neutered when they took the reroll wounds away.
I wouldn't say completely neutered. I would say that actually needed to happen because it made certain units way too reliable.
Right. Well, what I meant that a lot of people were telling me that they were like, basically blah 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 blah. Where did this come from? But like you said, they planned this stuff so far in advance that it didn't seem to me like the intention was to keep it that way from the beginning, because they must have known they were going to remove it when they started releasing these rules.
the 10th edition's been around long enough where when they probably started writing this book, they were in the middle of writing it when 10th edition was being played. So they had at this point, the codexes we see, they probably are still writing some parts of it while 10th edition has been out. So they had good feedback, but it could be feedback that is no longer valid is the problem.
Right.
And the three of us have talked today actually about the kind of misconception of Space Marine stats. People see a 44% win rate with Space Marines, and that's not really that doesn't reflect the entire picture, because you put that 44% win rate army in the hands of a top tier player, and I mean, I can't count the number of times Ryan bullied me with Dark Angels, with Desolation Marines, with full O3 rolls back when they were what they were.
The stats don't story, folks.
Yeah. The biggest thing is that you got to keep in mind Space Marines is, generally speaking, the army most people get at the start. So it's more or less all the people who start playing are going to be playing it. So it's going to be a lower number than it actually is, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah, it's the most accessible army in the game.
Right,
You can go into Dollar General and find a Space Marine box. Like, I mean, not really, but you know.
I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah, like. But yeah, I think that the Oaths change was a fair change. I think that, God, could you imagine current Templars with full rerolls to wound?
That would be atrocious.
But anyway, nobody cares about Templars. Templars suck, and they're for nerds.
Fair.
Let's talk about the Green Boys.
Orcs. What?
Not today.
Oh.
We'll get there.
You said green and boys. Come on. That's like orcs.
You were in that one.
So, Ryan, do you want to cover some army rules, detachments? What you want to talk about?
Sure,
first?
we can start. We'll go in the order of how the book is laid out. It starts off with the army rules. All these have the Oath of Mormons, which is, there's first off, I'm getting ahead of myself. There are 3 detachments. Each one has Oath of Moments, the normal Space Marine, as their army rule. The Unforgiven Task Force was the one that was released in the Index. And what is hilarious about this is probably one of the worst detachments in the game.
Not worse than Space Wolves.
I was about to say that. Its worst was probably Space Wolves, but after that, it is probably, I would say, probably bottom 5. It's going to be hard to kind of rank all that, but it is very, very bad. Basically, it is, to sum it up for anyone who hasn't really been looking into this so far, your rule is when you're battle shocked, you're essentially not battle shocked. You still can maintain OC, and you don't lose objectives. Cool. The problem is for whatever reason they thought battle shocked was going to be a much bigger deal when they first came out with it. And if everyone was getting battle shocked everywhere across the board, this would be awesome. This would be great. If there was factions that were really hyper focused on battle shocking, I can only think of one, possibly a 2 if you want to count Tyranids with their side grade of once a game.
Tyranid's new codex has a lot of battle shock synergy.
Nobody cares about Tyranids, Cody.
Well, it sort of matters. Anyway, in the detachment rule, they do specify what counts as Ravenwing keywords and Deathwing keywords. So basically, it's what you expect. The Terminators and all that are Deathwing, and bikes and mounted vehicles with vehicles with fly, they're Ravenwing. So your fast stuff are Ravenwing. Your ancients and stuff are Deathwing. Other than that, the standard Unforgiven Task Force, the only change in it, which is hilarious, because they felt the need to nerf this detachment for whatever reason. There is a the spectre being one of the worst ones. The Unbreakable Lines stratagem is the only thing that changed from the index. Basically, during your opponent's charge phase, so not when they activate or anything like that, you have to declare this. It used to be -1 damage to a unit that got from one of your units that got charged, and it was, I believe it was 1 CP at the time. I would have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure it was 1 CP, -1 damage, that for the rest of the round if one of your units got charged. Pretty cool. Now it is -1 wound, and I think both the hosts of this show would agree that -1 to wound is nowhere near as good as -1 damage, and they have raised it to 2 CP.
1 CP -1 wound, I wouldn't be mad at it.
I wouldn't
be either.
2 CP -1 wound?
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, get out of here.
Well,
Yeah.
okay, so granted, obviously there's some potential there with captains and stuff like that to potentially create a really tough unit by using it for free. Is it a battle tactic?
It is a battle tactic, so you can use it for free. It is the only saving grace of this thing. But -1 damage, you could stack that up with other things that have -1 damage, and it's like you can build really tanky things. It's granted it's only in melee,
Right.
but you could, World Eaters really hated going into this because you could have things that were -2 damage. All their 3 damage weapons are like, well, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I can think of several armies. Custodes,
Custodes,
World Eaters, just terrible.
Basically it could turn anything that was 2 damage into 1 damage, and anything that was already -1 damage, because they stack, into -2 damage, and it's like, well, gets pretty hard. All right.
Alas, it is no more.
Rip in peace.
And the thing is, what's funny is my other big army I play is orcs. We have a stratagem that whenever you target in the shooting or fight phase for 1 CP, -1 to wound. That is amazing. I have used that stratagem so many times. 2 CP is where it starts getting rough.
Yeah, I think in a future update, I think this will go to 1 CP. I would be absolutely scorn-hoggled if they did not.
The other big problem about this detachment is, since they're focused on being battle shocked, a whole bunch of their stratagems work on if things are battle shocked of your things, and there's no way in anything to battle shock your own guys. There is a niche case of, there's a character, I believe it's Lazarus, that when he dies, you all take battle shocks. So there's a meme going around that you throw Lazarus out, he dies. It's either Lazarus or Ezekiel. I'll have to go double check that. But they die, and then all you guys take a battle shock test, which you're all just going to pass when you want to fail.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Lazarus.
Yeah, so Clay put in the chat that -2 damage on damage 1 heals the models. And
that like the fucking Iron Hand detachment coming out all over again.
That would be hilarious. All right, let's go to the next detachment, and we can actually go into depth here because this is actually new stuff. This is the Inner Circle Task Force. This is my favorite detachment in the book. Not saying too terribly much, but it's actually kind of cool.
I think if the data sheets matched what this detachment brought, it could be good.
That is very true. We'll get more into the data sheets here in a little bit after we talk about it, because like you said, the data sheets can reflect how good actual detachments are. If you got good things to put in detachments, this is a fine detachment. It's not the craziest, but it's solid. I could actually play. This is the one with I was talking about earlier about the bit of cheese you could do. This is the detachment, but we'll get into that later. All right. So, detachment rule, valid target. At the start of your command phase, so at the same time you're picking your oath target, select one objective marker. Until the start of your next command phase, that objective marker is your valid objective marker. Each time a Deathwing infantry, so it's only Deathwing, unit Oh, and it also has to be infantry, which is weird because dreadnoughts are also Deathwing, so they don't get the benefit here. Deathwing infantry unit from your army makes an attack that targets a unit within range of the valid objective marker. Add 1 to the wound roll. That is amazing.
I never caught that Deathwing infantry piece of it.
Yes,
that kind of sucks.
What is hilarious throughout this is there's actually only one thing. I have to find it right quick. There's only one thing that affects non-Deathwing infantry. So there's out of everything, they made Dreadnoughts Deathwing and then gave them basically no rules.
Great.
Yes, it is okay. So, but the detachment role, you're want to be playing Blade Guard veterans and Terminators. This is amazing. And one key thing is this isn't melee only. This is any attack that is targeting that objective.
Are you telling me Terminator shooting could wound something on not a 5?
It could wound things on 5s because you're strength 4 and you're most likely going to be targeting things that are toughness 8 or higher. It can wound things on besides 6s.
Nice try. Almost had you.
Yeah, got excited for a moment.
Well, I mean, they do have some bigger guns, but you can't take a whole unit of them. Anyway, here's some enhancements. They got 4 enhancements like normal. You have the Champion of the Deathwing. Deathwing model only. For whatever reason, they're all Deathwing model only because it's the Deathwing detachment. Melee weapons equipped by the bearer has lethal hits. Each time the bearer makes an attack, if it's in range of the valid objective marker, critical hits scored are a 5+.
Nice.
Question.
What's that? Say you have just a basic lieutenant in this detachment, does it get the Deathwing keyword? It does not.
That's unfortunate.
There is no lieutenant in Terminator armor. It has to have the Terminator armor. There's not a Blade Guard lieutenant.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping, was a lieutenant just with Blade Guard.
Right.
Lethal hits on 5s.
Well, the thing is, I mean, yeah, sure, but the problem is that this is just for the model. It's not for the unit.
Yes. Yeah, I just read that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so if it was for the unit, that would be amazing. The problem is this is just for the model, so you'll get, on the average, I think like the highest is like 6. You'll find 6 attacks. So you're going to get this, and you'll get 2 lethal hits.
Yeah.
And I don't think there is one that combos with sustained hits to give an extra plus 5 on sustained hits. I have to look.
Missed that as well. It's less good now that I know it's by model and not by unit.
Yeah, it's by model. It's it's not great. This is something that you'll just add on to, like, hey, I got a few extra points.
Is this a battle tactic?
This is an enhancement, man.
Oh shit. My bad.
We're not to the battle tactics yet.
My bad.
All right.
How many? I'm gonna pull up the points for these.
Let's see.
No, I can't.
All right, the points for, let's see, that's Champion of Deathwing. It is currently 15 points.
That's not the worst.
No, it's fine for 15 points if you have 15 points.
Yeah, that's probably as much as I would spend on it.
Yeah, well, you're not. It's not one of those enhancements where you're going to build around with like 30 points and it's like, yes, this is going to be a core centerpiece of my army. This is like, okay, I have a few points left over.
This will give me the 2,000.
Yeah, exactly. So the next enhancement is Eye of the Unseen. Deathwing model only. Each time you target the bearer's unit with a stratagem on a d6, add 1 to the bearer's range of your valid objective marker. Hang on, let me reread that. Add Roll 1d6, adding 1 if the bearer is on the range of your valid objective marker. On a 5+, you gain 1 CP. So, you target them with a stratagem. On a 5-up, you get a CP. On a 4-up, you get a CP back.
That is not
I
great.
don't hate that. I think that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one of those cheap ones that's going to be 10 points.
Yeah, but as somebody that runs Shadow Sun, I'm getting PTSD.
This is something you have. This is something, if you have 10 points, you take it. If you have 15 points, you take the Deathwing of the Champion of the Deathwing. If you have 25 points, you're probably going to need to rewrite your list, honestly. Just find something better.
Like, there's nothing in here worth those points. Put something else.
25 points, you're starting like, that's a lot. All right, so next one, Singular Will. Deathwing model only. Each time the bear's unit piles or consolidates, that models in that unit can move an additional 3 inches. This is big.
Yeah, that's really good.
That is huge, which basically means you can clear one side of the objective to the other side of the objective to pile into other things.
I'm excited.
Yeah, that makes the combo charge moves pretty good, because if you can take the 3-inch charge with this unit to tag a unit, wipe it with something else, and then pile in 6 inches into another unit, pretty good.
And then you can pile in 6 inches further. So you can, if you can, because all you have to do is just get into engagement range. So they can be 6.9 inches away. And then you just pile in and you just move 12 extra inches. This is right here is the best enhancement. The other one, this one is actually cost, I believe, 20 points. This right here is 20 points.
Solid.
I will probably take it every single time.
I agree with that.
I agree.
So we found the enhancement that you build around.
I wouldn't say build around, but you go ahead and take it, like, because it's just that powerful. Because like you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to build around. It's not like something to add to your centerpiece. It's what your centerpiece is just makes it better.
I understand.
The last enhancement, Deathwing Assault. Deathwing models with Deep Strike ability only. The Bears unit can set up using Deep Strike ability in the reinforcement step of your first, second, or third movement phase, regardless of mission rules.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So you can drop Terminator's turn 1?
You can. There is one problem.
Uh-oh.
It does specify during your reinforcement step.
You cannot
You cannot rapid ingress. There are 2 versions of this rule. One is good, one is slightly worse. This is the slightly worse one. The best thing about rapid ingress is that you can set up deep strike melee units to get into combat easier. And this doesn't help them turn 1.
Right, because you can't move them because it's in your reinforcement step.
Right. Now, granted, you can still... It would help. The problem is for whatever reason, it is the most expensive of the enhancements at 30. So I would say that if you felt like you needed to be able to push out your Terminators, or whatever you have it, Blade Guard, whatever, faster, it will help them get into center board. Personally, how I would use this is probably park them on a side objective away, behind cover, turn 1, so that way turn 2 they can get onto it.
I disagree.
Yeah, right. You know, a 10-man Deathwing Knights landing on a side objective.
Well,
seems good.
There is a problem about that statement, but we'll get to it later.
Is the marked objective not in the center of the table? Because I'm seeing that as a way to get on that early and start the buffs flowing.
The problem about that is that's also where your opponent is going. What I found out. So it's easier to charge onto that objective than to have something on your side objectives because if you're putting this on a Terminator unit, well, they're moving slow. It might be tough for them to get certain places sometimes. This will help you put something on objectives. Now, if the mission, you gotta adapt. Most times when I'm looking at this, I'm looking to put them someplace on a secondary objective. If the mission calls to put them in the center objective, put them in the center objective.
Right.
Agree.
All right.
Some strats.
So, strats. We have Armor of Contempt. Do we really need to go over this one?
I don't know what that does. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. It is the same as all the other Armor of Contempts. Thank goodness, because they have enough. I'll go over whichever ones are battle tactics when get to them. There's only 2 battle tactics in this one. One is Armor of Contempt. The next one is Martial Mastery. You use this is not a battle tactic. You use it on the fight phase. 1 Deathwing Infantry, so still not the Dreadnoughts, from your army that has not been selected to fight. Until the end of that phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack, reroll the wound rolls of 1. If it's on the valid objective, reroll all wound rolls instead. This is pretty good.
Ooh.
So you
1 CP, 4 rerolls to wound, +1 to wound because you're on your objective, and you're probably hitting an oath target.
More than possibly. Honestly, the cool thing about this thing is what I want to test with it if I ever get around to before changes happen, because I hope some changes happen, is that since you have a valid target and an oath target, that is almost like you could either overkill one thing, or you could fight on 2 different things, both with buffs.
Fair.
So now, like if there's like Angron on an objective, yes, I'm going to probably oath and vow him.
Double him.
Yes. However, if there is smaller units that I'm like, I can kill this unit and kill this unit, you gotta kind of choose and pick that, hey, I don't want to overkill. The other cool thing about the valid target is if they put 2 things on objectives, because sometimes you're wanting to try to hold an objective, so you put 2 units to make 2 activations, possibly more if you can't kill all in one. With a valid target, you can kill them all. You hit both units with it, which is kind of cool.
Battle tactic?
This is not a battle tactic.
Because that would have been awesome to be able to duplicate.
It would be. However, yeah, remember, a lot of times battle tactics is better if it's not a battle tactic because of Vects.
Okay, I got you.
Also fair.
So you kind of gotta. It depends on, like, if it's a cornerstone stratagem.
Yeah.
A lot of times you kind of want them not to be. You just want them cheap and not be battle tactics, so that way you could spam them every single turn.
Like Eldari for the last 9 months.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is one I'm probably going. If I don't think I can kill it, I'm probably going to spend a CP every single turn doing, and my opponent cannot interact with it, which is nice, I guess. Anyway, the next one, Duty Unto Death. This is not a battle tactic. The fight phase, just after an enemy has selected its targets, 1 Deathwing unit from your army that is selected as a target. This is the one stratagem you can use on Dreadnoughts, because it's just Deathwing unit.
Here we go.
All right. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit is destroyed, that model is if that model has not fought this phase, roll a d6, adding 1 if it's on the valid objective. On a 4-up, do not destroy that model. Do not remove that model from play. It can fight after the attack has finished its attacks, and then remove it from play.
So you're telling me I'm going to spend this 1 CP on my Redemptor Dreadnought to finish Angron on 1 wound, and this is going to be the sweatiest 3-up I've ever rolled in my life.
I'm fucking trying to tell you.
Yes. This is honestly a great stratagem. Not on dreadnoughts.
Yeah.
You have a Terminator brick on your Valve target or your Valve objective, and then every single one of those Terminators can file in death on a 3-up.
Oh, true.
That's when you want to use it. The problem is for whatever reason, this is the one thing dreadnoughts get for being Deathwing, is a chance to fight.
The sweatiest 3-up on planet Earth.
Yes. It is hilarious that this is the one.
Too bad the Redemptor Dreadnought went up in points. What a shame.
Brutalis.
All right, so here we go. The next one is called Relic Teleportarium. Good lord, I cannot say that word. Teleportarium. When your movement phase,
Pterodactyl.
target one Deathwing unit from your army that has the Deep Strike ability. So it's not infantry, but I don't think any dreadnoughts have Deep Strike.
No.
Your unit can be set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 3 inches away horizontally from all enemy models.
Question.
Restrictions, they cannot charge.
Does the lion have the Deathwing keyword?
He does not.
What?
Yes. That is. I was going to wait for that to happen when we went over indexes, because the funny thing is that the next stratagem actually references the lion himself. The lion
Oh my God.
is not a Deathwing unit.
That has to be an oversight, right?
I hope so. I don't write these books.
The lion does have deep strike, and dropping him 3 inches on somebody would be scary.
Well, but he can't charge, so it's not even like it. He can't charge.
Well, yeah, but it makes him so hard to screen out with like a rapid ingress.
You're right, but I would, to be fair, on a home objective, you're not putting anything that can kill the lion back there to hold it.
No.
Dropping a lion 3 inches away, if you could tag that home objective.
Oh, hello there. Capture enemy outpost.
Yeah. Now,
Clay's getting PTSD.
however, there are if Stern Guard veterans, I believe, is that the shooting unit?
Yes.
Yeah, they are Deathwing. You could use them to drop 3 inches away if you could give them. I don't know if
They
they
don't
have
have the deep strike ability.
That is a problem.
GW is
why can't everyone just has what's it called from the Ultramarines that just gives any unit you want deep strike?
Oh, Uriel.
Yeah, whatever that guy is. Anyway, speaking of the line that is not Deathwing, we have Wrath of the Lion. When your charge phase, target one Deathwing infantry from your army that has just ended a charge move. Select one enemy unit with an engagement range of your unit. Roll 1d6 for each model in your unit, adding 1 if the result of the enemy is within your valid objective marker. For each 4+, that enemy unit suffers 1 mortal wound. To a maximum of 3 mortal wounds.
What?
Oh, goodness.
Maximum of
Just
3.
throw a grenade.
Right. Well, one thing people have commented is that this is a great combo of you throw a grenade and then charge. And that's 6 mortal wounds.
Potential for 9.
Right. With the grenade part. You're basically guaranteed for anything you're charging, if you're charging on your valid target, to get the 3 max. Not sure they needed the 3 max. I felt like a lot they could do a little more than 3. I think 6 would have been too insane for this type of stratagem.
Yeah.
But 4 or 5 would probably been just fine. Would have felt better.
Yeah, that's a little uninspiring.
Right. And this is the Wrath of the Lion. This is probably why the Lion doesn't want to be a Deathwing.
That's why he didn't want to be associated.
Yeah, it's like this. All right. And here is the last blah blah blah. This is the last stratagem, and this one is a battle tactic. When your opponent's shooting phase, just after they have selected its targets, target one Deathwing infantry unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking units. Until the end of the phase, each time the attack targets your unit, if the strength characteristic is greater than your unit's toughness, subtract 1 from the wound roll.
Oh, so you're telling me this is basically the same as the other strat that's 2 CP?
Yes, except this one has the problem that it has to be higher strength.
Fair. I would take that for 1 less CP.
Wounded on 4.
Yeah, the biggest problem is what I have found playing orcs, because I have a stratagem as -1 to wound, no matter what. The best part about that stratagem is when people go into orcs that generally have higher toughness, which Deathwing have Terminators, so they have a little bit higher toughness. When they try to chip you with bolters that are 4 damage and they're wounding on 5s, you're literally cutting the rate they're killing you in half, because now they're only wounding on 6s.
Fair.
Right.
So there's a big difference going from 5 to 6 than from 3 to 4. Now, granted, this is a perfectly fine stratagem, but the problem is still you can't go from 4 to 5 or 5 to 6. You can only go from 2 to 3 or 3 to 4. So it kind of cuts in half when you're using this. And most of the time I found when I want to use the -1 to wound stuff, it's generally against volume of fire, which is generally lower strength.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's my 2 cents. And that is the Inner Circle Task Force.
It seems solid overall.
It is
like
solid.
I said, if the data sheets matched it, I could see it being viable.
The biggest thing is this is everything in here besides Armor of Contempt is for Deathwing only.
Yeah, true.
You're not going to get anything else for any other. Nothing else is supported. But like you have Oath of Moments, and you have Armor of Contempt. Nothing else you bring will be supported at all by.
Get those Hellblasters out of here.
Well. All right. So then we come to the last and third one, which I had high hopes for because I was wanting to really play these guys, but this is a really weird detachment, we'll get into it. This is called Company of Hunters. This is the Raven Wing, the Fast Boys. Their detachment role: Masters of Maneuver. Units in this army is eligible to shoot the turn they advanced or fell back. So this just
Solid
unlike
roll.
yes, it's a solid roll. This detachment has a weird lot of similarities on the reverse side of what is that? The Stormlance, if I'm saying. Yeah, Stormlance. Where the Stormlance is like all about getting into melee fast, these are all about shooting fast. You'll see, like, if you are familiar with the rules, Stormlance is this unit. All units is able to charge even though they advanced or fell back. This one is reversed; they can shoot even though they advanced or fell back.
Who the hell gave these Raven hunt cock?
So, one thing I see immediately is it is Adeptus Astartes unit. It's not locked to Deathwing, so that's nice.
Yes, it is, or in this case, this would be Ravenwing.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, so this one is across the board really, really. It already helps every part of the army instead of just. Although, to be fair, the valid target would be kind of insane if it just allowed anything to get +1 wound. I think that I would just wish some of the stratagems could help other things.
Very true.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Now let's get into the enhancements. You have Master Crafted Weapon, which I kind of find hilarious because it used to be in 9th edition, Master Crafted Weapon was like everywhere. Anything could take it. Now it's just Ravenwing, evidently.
Brian, you missed one key part of this
what's that?
attachment. It turns Outrider units. They gain the battle line keyword.
My bad. I missed that. You could take 6 Outriders in this attachment.
Wait, can't they go in units of 6? Or
They
is it
can.
only 3?
So if you can go
we can
into
take
units
24 bites.
Thank God.
Let's
no,
see. It'll be
36.
36. You can take 36
36.
Outriders. I
Thank
totally missed that
God.
part.
Thank God.
They still are horrible. All right.
Yeah, fair.
Maybe if we put enough of them on the table, they'll work.
I doubt it.
Anyway, Master Crafted Weapon. This used to be back in 9th edition, added 1 to your damage. Now it just gives you precision.
Seems pretty meh.
That's
Yes.
weak because you could just heroic challenge.
Yeah.
Basically, it's your. And the problem is, it's only melee weapons have precision, which it could have been cool, but the problem is, Ravenwing is known for their shooting.
Yeah. You'll never see that one.
More than likely not. Let's see, Company of Hunters, Master Crafted Weapon. It's only 10 points.
Never see it. Never heard of it.
He's like, I have 10 points left over, and you're still not taking it.
I'll just run it at 1990. Can't give GW the satisfaction on that one.
Mounted Strategist. Ravenwing model only. The bearer's unit is eligible to declare a charge in the turn which it advanced or fell back. This is kind of cool.
Ooh.
That allows you to combo with the masters where you can advance, charge, fall back, shoot, and charge. All that. Everything. You just do everything.
It just
So
works.
this is Ravenwing locked.
It is
What
Ravenwing
good
locked.
models are Ravenwing that this could go on?
Well, Ravenwing, there are 2. You can either, because right now we don't got a captain on bike, but we do have a chaplain on bike. He can take this. And
Fair.
there is a unit that has recently gotten the company guided character keyword, which is the Ravenwing Command Squad.
Okay, yeah. So you're telling
Now-
me chaplain on bike with 6 Outriders advance and charge.
Not Outriders.
Oh, he can't lead Outriders anymore?
Oh, no, you could, but you wouldn't. You would take other units that not Outriders. We're leaving the Outriders at home. I don't care if they're battle line. I don't care if I have 45 of them. They're not ones hitting table. Quit, they gotta get cheaper if you want to make them good.
They did get cheaper.
You gotta make them cheaper. All right. The next enhancement. Blah, I cannot speak. Master of Maneuver, which is really weird because the attachment rule is Masters of Maneuver. So just drop the S and you got an enhancement.
This is the master of the masters.
Yeah, I guess so. Ravenwing model only. The bearer's unit starts the battlefield if the bearer unit starts the battlefield in strategic reserves, its points value does not count towards the combined total limit for your strategic reserves.
Okay, that's interesting.
And for the purposes of setting up the unit on the battlefield, is treated as the battlefield round number as being 1 higher than it actually is.
So you
You're
can
telling me.
strategic reserve round 1 and you can deployment zone in round 2. That's interesting.
You're telling me. Chaplain on bike, 6 Outriders. Rapid ingress turn 1.
Yes, that is something you can do. I still don't know why you're so adamant about these Outriders, but you
I just
can
think it's
do that.
funny.
And yes, this one you can rapid ingress turn 1, unlike the Death Wing one, where it says only your movement phase. This does not have only your movement phase restriction. So this one is pretty good. The cool thing is this detachment actually has 3 good enhancements. Here's the last one. This one is called Recon Hunter. Raven Wing model only. Models in the Bears unit have Scout 9.
So Chaplain on bike with
Thank
6 Outriders.
With 6 Outriders.
Scout 9 inches.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure a chaplain on bike with 6 Outriders one-shots them.
100%. They one-shot
So,
Magnus.
They one-shot.
Honestly, that is a pretty nice, besides the first one, some pretty good enhancements.
Those seem really good with nothing to put them on.
That is fair. We'll get more into the special detachment later. That's the biggest problem, is that if you thought the last detachment doesn't have good things you want to bring into it, this one has even less. Because right now, there's only 2 non-character units you can lead that are biker units.
Devastating.
It is. And one of them happens to be Outriders. So.
Hell yeah.
We're
All
back.
right, so anyway. What's that?
We're back, baby.
We're back.
Outriders are back.
Oh. All right. So let's get into the stratagems. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4 battle tactics. So, yay on the but we don't got a captain, so we have no way of making these for free.
So it's like they waved it in your face and were like, "Hey, you can get it."
Well, no, this is actually a detriment because that means you can vec these. And one of them is Armor of Contempt, which you cannot duplicate on your Raven Wing units. You can duplicate them on your side non-Raven Wing units.
Hey Ryan, Clay has asked that when you paint up your 36 Outriders that I know you have on the table, that you mold some leather coats on them, preferably with zippers.
On the pants too.
Yeah, on the pants.
Okay. Anyway, the next stratagem, Hunter's Trail. During your command phase, target 1 Raven Wing mounted unit from your army that is within range of an objective marker you control. That objective marker remains under your control, even if you have no models within range, until your opponent controls it at the start or end of any turn. Sticky objective.
So, Outriders with sticky objective. Scout move 9. It's coming together, Ryan.
Yes. And this is, to be important, this is
on.
any command phase, all right? Just not just your own. It could be your opponent's command phase, so you can sticky it during your opponent's turn. And so even if they shoot you off, you still have it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, a pregame move of 9 can get you to a lot of objectives on a lot of different deployments.
Definitely. Now, Scout 9 is very nice for the right points cost, which right now it is 20 points, so it might be a little high, but... All right, the next stratagem is called Talon Strike. Your shooting phase or fight phase, target 1 Raven Wing mounted unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight this phase. Until the end of the phase, each time a model in your unit makes an attack that targets an infantry character or mounted character, add 1 to the wound roll.
That's pretty good.
Seems solid.
The biggest problem I have with it is it's infantry or mounted. How many times do you need help killing infantry or mounted units, or do you need +1 to wound things that are monsters?
Well, Ryan, if I recall correctly, Outriders are strength 4.
It's like the answer is yes.
That is true.
Ryan
So
lost
your
that
Outriders are good.
immediately. Cody took one breath and wrapped that argument.
My 36 Outriders will have access to +1 to wound.
Tell you what, take your 36 Outriders to a tournament. It can be an RTT. If you go 3-0, I will take back my words, okay?
If somebody will paint 36 Outriders for me and buy them, I will 100% take them.
Cody, take him to 18.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right, so next, Death on the Wind. This is a battle tactic, so you can get your Vect. Your shooting phase, one Raven Wing unit in your army that has just shot. Select one enemy unit that was hit by one or more of those attacks. That unit must take a battle shock test when doing so. If one or more Raven Wing units of your army is within 6 inches of that unit, subtract 1 from the test.
I know which strat I'm vecting.
Not this one. It is... The biggest problem about this is you are shooting by time, like... It is such a risky play, and generally speaking, it does nothing, because by the time they... If they survive, they're just going to, at the start of their turn, they're going to be unbattle shocked and still score their objective marker.
Yeah, I could see this coming up like 0.001% of the time. Maybe you're trying to get like a secure no man's or some kind of secondary like that where you need to control it at the end of your turn. Maybe it comes up.
Right.
Other than that, no.
The only other thing is if you want to charge them and you are afraid of them using stratagems or something like that.
Sure.
So you can
We don't
shoot
want
them.
them to armor contempt our 36 Outrider.
That is absolutely correct. You got to get through that armor of contempt. All right. The next stratagem, and this one is about tactic as well, is called High Speed Focus. Your opponent's shooting phase just after an enemy unit has selected its targets. One Raven Wing unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, each time the attack targets your unit, subtract 1 from the hit roll.
So we've got stealth +1 to wound Outriders that can battle shock you.
Looking pretty spicy.
The biggest problem about this one is that Stormlance has another stratagem, same CP, that's -1 to hit and -1 to wound.
Correct.
So this is just a worse version of Stormlance.
Yeah. Foiled again. Well,
but
okay.
you can't take 36 Outriders.
I was going to say, God damn it, I was going to say
You can take better units in Stormlance.
But Outriders are nowhere near as good in Stormlance.
Fact.
No, I don't think so.
Say what you want about this Codex, Ryan. Is the best detachment in the game for running Outriders.
Hey, Outriders are better in Stormlance because you wouldn't take them.
Wouldn't take them in this either.
Stormlance has a new rule that just added in the data slate. It gives Outriders the dedicated display model keyword.
And what does that keyword do? All right. And the last stratagem, and this is also a battle tactic, so it can get vected. is called Rapid Reprisal, or Rapid Reprisal. And when at the end of your opponent's fight phase, one Raven Wing unit in your army that is not engaged in range of one of more of your units, you can return it to the strategic reserves.
Ooh.
Redeploying Outriders.
Okay, that's actually
That's spicy.
That's the best Outriders can be. Is you move them 9 inches away, and then you redeploy them somewhere else so before they get killed.
And you sticky an objective in the process.
And you stick your objective. You stick your objective on one side. You
teleporting and sticking the other side of the board to make the opponent chase you. That's, oh my god, it's genius. You don't have to kill the opponent's army. You just fly around and be annoying. And
until they just come stand on the objectives and you can't kill them.
Right.
And that is the Company of Hunters.
More like Company of the Hunted.
Yeah.
The best stratagem in that entire detachment is command reroll.
Armor Contempt, man. It's solid.
Armor Contempt is a great stratagem.
Yeah.
And as you know, it's exclusive.
That is also the only stratagem that can be used on non-Raven Wing units.
Devastating.
It is kind of devastating, honestly.
So, I guess GW has a lot of stock Outriders. That's what I've learned.
They do. They put them in everything.
Weren't they just in a box or something?
They were in
the Space Marine Christmas box.
I don't know if they were. I think that was last year, but they were in like every single
there was 9 of them in it last year.
Okay, for everyone, all the viewers watching, if you're listening right now, please buy some Outriders. GW is, for the love of God, buy some Outriders. I will let you take fucking 36 of them in a list. Just please buy some Outriders. They're begging you.
All right. So that's all the detachments. One is pretty bad. One is very mid, and one is fairly decent.
Yeah, I think there's a clear winner.
Oh yeah, there's a clear winner.
The Outriders.
Oh, good lord. The thing is that
I'm gonna acquire 36 Outriders, and I'm taking them to the Dice Like Ice tournament in March, and I'm gonna beat Ryan in round 3.
You know who probably?
I'm calling my shot.
All right, do it.
You know who probably owns the models to build a stupid ass list like that?
Joey.
I was just gonna fuck you. He's reading the codex. He's like, Outriders are sounding pretty good in this detachment. Let me buy 30 of them.
Joey, if you're listening, you build and paint them. I'll take them and beat Ron with them.
Joey, technically that would be a list of all vehicles, which I know is kind of your thing.
It is not vehicles. They're mounted.
Shut the fuck up and let me convince him to buy them, you fucking twat.
Good lord, language.
Full stream.
Language.
Watch your profanity.
All right. So who's going to? You want me to lead you guys in the new units and all that?
It's your horse. Well, it's your Outrider. You read it how you want to.
What? All right. All right. So let's get into the data sheets.
Cody, can we? Cody,
data sheets.
I'm gonna fucking get a stock picture of the Outrider model and just turn it into a shit post beam, and it's just got bold text. You've been outridden, and I'm just gonna post it everywhere.
All right. So, how do you guys get anything done in these streams?
It took us 3 hours to get through the index the other day.
Oh my gosh.
It's a great listen, though. Everybody should go listen to
it. All right. So, the next... Well, I guess we'll just go ahead and get into the data sheets. First up, Lionel Johnson.
Woo!
He is noticeably missing 2 things. One is Deathwing, as we already went to. And 2, he no longer is -1 to wound.
Oof. Hey, quick pause. I just got it confirmed from Clay that Joey has in fact ordered 36 Outriders.
I would love to see this.
The one other thing on the Lion that I know, Ryan, you didn't even notice first glance.
What's
They
that?
took his sweep from damage 2 to damage 1.
Yes, I did miss that on the first, and it is damage 1 in the book.
Devastating.
I do not know why they did that.
Well, they had to make him, slightly
Bad?
worse than Gilman.
Well, they're the same points now.
Yeah.
Although I'm going to look at the cards, see if they're. Yep, it's the same on the cards.
Well, I mean,
Not a typo.
A 3-up invuln is still really good, but holy shit, what a devastating blow to what was like one of the toughest models in the game.
Right.
I used to hate playing against Lion. Hate it.
Now you love to see him.
Yeah, if I see him, I know that my opponent didn't know how to build a list, so I immediately have an advantage.
Right. So the Lion lost 1 damage on a sweep, which is hilarious because that means his pistols do more damage than his sword at that point.
Oh.
Granted, he
It's
does have
still a
16
solid
attacks.
profile.
It is a very solid profile.
It's a solid profile. 8 attacks hitting on 2s at 12.44 is solid.
Yeah, he still has first strike. He has deep strike. He's just missing a few things. His aura still does not block devastating wounds, so it's only mortals.
It is nice to see that he retained fights first.
Right.
That may be his most annoying attribute.
I felt it was the combination of -1 to wound and fight first.
Yeah, fair.
It was just he had a nice combination of abilities, and now they slowly are starting to go away. Because this is one of the things I felt like is the reason why they nerfed him is because of when they were writing the codex, they're like, "Oh, Lion is really strong. Let's take away a few things." And then when the book started going to print, then it's like Lion just continued to get worse and worse. And before this book came out, I had taken the Lion out of my Dark Angel lists, and now he won't even see the table.
So I do think it's worth mentioning that one detachment, didn't it have a 1 CP -1 to wound for Deathwing infantry or Deathwing units or something?
The it does if the strength is higher than their toughness.
So maybe it was a typo that he didn't get that keyword, and the intention was for him to be used with that strat.
The problem is he's not infantry.
Oh, it is infantry locked.
It is infantry block. The only if he got the Deathwing keyword, the only strat you could use on him is the deep strike strat and the fight on death on a 3-up strat or 4-up if you're not on your valid target.
Hey guys, can you do me a favor real quick? Something just happened in the meme channel.
Oh my gosh.
You could have outritten.
Put it on the stream. Oh my god, I posted it everywhere. Anytime anybody does anything, you've been outridden.
All right. So, oh my gosh, you guys are so all over the place. All right, the next stage state. This is our only new unit. It is trash. It is so bad. This is the Inner Circle Companions. They get a single bolt shot for hitting on 3s, strength 4, AP 1, damage 1. They have a sweep profile and a strike profile on their melee weapon. That oddly enough has the same. The stats are all the same, except one is lethal hits with +1 damage, and the other one is sustained hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Uninspiring.
Right. It is. So 4 attacks, strength 6, AP 1, damage 2. They are toughness 4, 3 up save, no invuln, 3 wounds each, 2 OC.
So they're worse company heroes.
They're worse Blade Guard.
Fair.
And they currently, according to the back of the book, cost more than Blade Guard.
Ooh.
How much does it have them at?
105.
Oof.
For
Although
how?
I feel like we have to say the obligatory, you got to take these points in the back of the book with a grain of salt.
Possibly. The problem is this is a new unit, and the last update that they came through don't have them in the data slate.
Well, if I remember correctly, the Norn Emissary in the book was like 250 or something, and then he launched at 290. So
So when does it launch?
say that again.
When does this actually launch?
They'll do a standalone codex. I would anticipate probably like mid to late February.
But for now, dog shit.
Yeah. Even then, it's going to be dog shit. But
yeah. So their ability, I haven't gone over that yet. When they attack a character unit, they get +1 to hit. When they are led by a character, they are -1 to hit.
so I think I would rather have the company hero -1 to wound when led by a character.
I would rather have the Blade Guard reroll 1s to save or 1s to hit.
Fair.
Right,
The Blade Guard's rule is locked to only the fight phase, but yeah. Point taken.
like I just want Dark Angel Blade Guard.
Yeah, I mean, but you take company heroes or you take Blade Guard over this. 100%.
Well, the reason why I'm comparing them to Blade Guard so much is that these guys are in 3 to 6 man, just like Blade Guard.
Fair. And they do have the Deathwing keyword, so
they do have Deathwing keyword. The big thing is Blade Guard have a 4 invuln. These guys have a 2 OC. So
you'd rather have the 4th invuln.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just weird. Do you guys want me to go over any stat sheets that stay the same?
Nah, there's no real point.
All right. Well, first off, let me go over, because I've been hinting at this for a long time, this cheese I was talking about. So, there is something that Azrael, let's see, who else is it? Azrael's the main one. Let's see, Ezekiel and Lazarus, I believe. No, yep, Lazarus. All right, these 3 guys, nothing's changed about them, but they all have the Deathwing keyword. And
quick question, Ron.
What's that?
Who is the gentleman that got the new model in the Dark Angel box?
Bale.
Okay. All right.
And he did not change at all.
Cool.
He got the Deathwing keyword, so I mean, technically that's the only change. Anyway, so Ezekiel, Azrael, and Lazarus all have the Deathwing keyword. They can all also. Let me make sure I got this all right. Oh, it's not Lazarus. It's Asmodai. My bad. Ezekiel, Asmodai, and Ezekiel. No, Ezekiel, Asmodai, and Azrael all have the Deathwing keyword. They can all lead. Hang on. They can all lead Hellblasters.
At the same time.
Oh, well, no. You lead 3 units of 10 Hellblasters. Each one. All right?
30 Hellblasters.
30 Hellblasters. The cheese is that since they are all Deathwing, the whole unit has the Deathwing keyword, and they get the valid target for the Inner Circle Task Force.
Oh, nice.
So
you can
plus 1 to wound.
Plus 1 to wound. So you can have 30 Hellblasters plus 1 to wound. There's the best Inner Circle Task Force. If I was going to build a Dark Angel list, this is where I would begin, is looking at how many Hellblasters am I taking.
I've had
with
enough
Azrael,
damn
Ezekiel, and
Hellblaster.
Azmodai.
What did you say, Tony?
I've had enough of Ryan and fucking Hellblasters for 1 edition.
Well, guess what? I'm probably going, this is all I'm going to be doing until they give me something better.
It's about to be 30 fucking Hellblasters.
30 Hellblasters plus 1 to wound. Full rerolls to hit.
How many Outriders?
None.
The bad thing is you can't put any of the enhancements on these characters to
That
go
is
with those
correct.
units.
That is absolutely correct. Because these are all units that are however,
Named.
you can, they're all named. However, what you can do is join lieutenants to them. Now, you can't give the lieutenants enhancements because they're not, but you do get other benefits.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
does Azrael still give the unit a 4-up invuln?
Yep.
Cool.
He gets a 4-up feel no pain also against mortal wounds, if that matters.
It does not.
Cool.
But yeah, mostly these units are just to give the unit the Deathwing keyword, so they get plus 1 to wound. It is kind of funny. Alright, moving on to other changes. First off, they have removed a unit from the book that is quite annoying. They have we no longer have the Deathwing Command Squad. It is gone.
They took 2 really popular units out, didn't they?
Yes, they took the Talon Master also, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which was a character that was really good and popular in Deathwing, the Ravenwing.
R.I.P.
Yep. So we lost both those. So the weird thing is we still have the Ravenwing Command Squad, but they took the Deathwing one out. So we just only have the normal Deathwing Terminator Squad. The only bonus they gave them is they now have the Teleport Homer, which is the same rule as the normal Teleport Homer. And the Deathwing also ignores all modifiers against the ballistic skills and weapon skills against the Oath of Moment target. And plus 1 to hit.
So they get the ignoring modifiers on top of the plus 1 to hit that normal Terminators get.
Right.
Cool.
All right.
Pretty sweet.
Now, here's the problems. They took away the sword and board Terminators. You can no longer take a shield on these Terminators.
Yes, I did know that. Did they completely get rid of the assault ones to where you can't take hammers and shield on any?
Not on Deathwing. You could take them on normal assault Terminators, but you can no longer
have the Deathwing keyword.
They would, because if you're running them in the Deathwing detachments, they would.
Okay.
Because everything, but the big problem is you just can't have them in the Deathwing Terminator Squad. You'd have them in the Assault Terminator Squad, which don't get better, the better plus ignore
Really?
modifiers. Yeah.
Cool.
Other than that, they got, let's see, what is it? The plasma cannon, which is a all-right weapon. You probably just take the missile rack launcher. The plasma cannon is a D3 shots blast for at BS skill 3, strength 7, AP 2, damage 1, or supercharge it or blast hazardous D3 shots with ballistic skill 3 plus, strength 8, AP 3, damage 2.
Gotcha.
It's all right. Oh,
Yeah.
one other thing that they did. The sergeant cannot take a power fist.
Why?
He has to take a power weapon, which is worse.
Well, yeah, they're damage 1, right?
Yes. So for whatever reason, the best guy, supposedly the best guy in the unit, cannot take a power fist. So basically, one guy in your unit is going to have strength 5, AP 2, damage 1. But he had 4 attacks instead of the power fist's 3 attacks, strength 8, AP 2, damage 2.
Yeah, that's how they did the regular Terminators too, also, right?
I believe so. I would have to double check that, but Terminators are just, you don't run them because they're
No.
not worth it. Now let's get to the next one, which is the one I'm really, really sad about. The Deathwing Knights.
Yeah,
These
I've
guys
got a meme in the meme section concerning these guys, if anybody's interested.
I hate you. For anyone who is listening to this podcast, he literally got these Deathwing Knights with foam swords and plushy hammers or whatever those things are. The things you buy from the Dollar General.
Yeah, they're up on the screen for those who would like to see them.
Oh, fair enough. We got fancy technology. Anyway, the reason why these are like that is because they've lost 1 damage to their weapons. For like, they
Literally
were once
no
damage
reason.
3. Yes, they were once damage 3. They were AP 1, damage 3. So basically, they were easy to save against, but when you failed save, they hurt. Now they're easy to save against, and they sort of do mid damage. The biggest problem in the game is a lot of things are 3 wounds. So instead of killing things on 1 hit, you got to hit them twice as many times.
Yeah.
And the other big thing about the Deathwing Knights and the problem is they went from a 5 or 10 man to now only 5 men.
Yeah, GW solved that Vanguard list of 10 infiltrating Deathwing Knights really quickly.
I've never seen anyone do well with that list.
Fair. It was annoying though.
It was very annoying. It was a list I was scared about because of I have so much damage too. Like, if I'm not playing Deathwing, I am perfectly fine not seeing that. But now that I'm not playing Deathwing, so mostly because of this change right here, they took the best unit, and right now they haven't really changed the point cost. Right now, you could still run them as their damage 3 glory, but as soon as the codex goes live, it's going to be hurting. They would need to see probably, I would say, about 10-point decrease per model.
Well, if you take a gander at the back of the book, it's got them at like a 10-point increase, right?
Something like that. Let's see. I know they're 235 right now. Deathwing Terminator Squad. No, let's see. I don't need. That's not the one I need. I need the Dark Knights. Good lord, no, that's way more than 10 points each. That is, they have it at 290 at the back of the book, so that is like a 15 point each. Good lord. Yeah. You are just enjoying how much my army had gotten nerfed. I do not appreciate that. It's not nice as a friend.
Oh man, it's tough. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right.
Did they
What's that?
did they gain any abilities, or are they still just -1 damage?
They have. They are. They got the teleport Homer also. So you can rapid
okay.
ingress for free.
Yay.
The other thing they did gain another weapon. So you can swap out the horrible mace. For the power weapon, which is one more
Yay.
attack, AP2 1 damage instead of. So you have 5 attacks, AP2 1 damage instead of 4 attacks, AP1 2 damage.
AP1 is so bad.
It is very bad. Although with how things are going, who knows how much 2-up saves with Armor of Contempt is going to be out there right now, because they seem to be nerfing a lot of it. So we have to. I kind of want to see how the meta shifts a little bit for this, but right now it just feels so bad.
But for the record, AP1 that doesn't ignore cover is AP0. I mean, let's be real.
This is
Well,
melee.
this is melee.
So we don't care about cover.
Tony, did you look in the chat at the meme I posted?
I did see the chat. Sorry, the cat just broke my Valentine's Day gift to my wife, so I tend to get off the mic so I could beat the fucking shit out of this cat. I'm glad you're enjoying this. My cat does more damage than fucking Deathwing Terminators. Sorry, Ryan.
Well, your cat has killed a ghost kill. I don't think Deathwing Terminators could.
That's true. Very true.
No, it's because any damage it does, it's like, no, you didn't do that damage.
It's like, welcome to my reality. Reality can be whatever I want.
So anyway, we have the Raven Wing Command Squad. This is now the person who is leading this is now a character. The cool thing about this one is they are on all 4 wounds now, and you can keep resurrecting the 4 wound guy that's not a character and not the apothecary, which is the ancient. So the ancient dies, then you can pick them back up for 4 wounds every single time. Kind of cool combo. Still not great. The big thing people need to watch out for is that when you see this on the table, the Raven Wing Command Squad is a 3-man unit that can lead a 6-man Raven Wing Knights unit. So you can have a unit of 9 bikers all in one unit.
Not Outriders, distinctly.
Damn it.
Not Outriders.
But they do go with Outriders.
You could lead them with Outriders, but I would not. I would use the Raven Wing Black Knights.
I mean, basically, this codex, the only thing I'm really seeing that I would even consider from this codex is just the meme list. Now that we've proposed it, how many motorcycles can you put on the table, and how annoying can you be?
If you want to do it, you are more than welcome to. But that is basically everything that is new I can think of.
Yeah.
So what do we think, boys?
I think the art on the book is really nice.
Very true. I think the memes that have come out of this stream have been excellent.
I honestly would not mind trying this Hellblaster.
I do think that the Hellblaster combo sounds exciting. It sounds strong. But
the
at
biggest
the
problem is
time,
it's not
it's
what
like
I was wanting to run.
it's a one-trick pony. It is either going to, implode. It's basically like fucking crisis suits if they died instantly. And I just, I think it could be good, but it's like, is that really something you can build an entire list around?
We've got 30 of them.
I mean, you do have 30 of them. That's fucking 30 hazardous tests. Although, I mean, if Josh plays it, then it could actually work.
Yeah, he would just, fail like one out of.
Josh would shoot 30 hazardous weapons in 5 fucking combat rounds and not fail a test.
Well,
He'd
you
be
just
like,
instead
my
of
models aren't
running
going to shoot twice.
just what do you call it? Run apothecaries and resurrect all the ones you blew up.
Also fair.
Are you gonna try it? Just try the Outriders. Just try the Outriders.
Look, if I'm not even going to try the Ravenwing Knights, why would I try the Outriders?
Because I just made a meme that you can post and like text it to everybody you beat.
Tell you what, look, in the next Dice Like Ice tournament, Cody beats me with those Outriders. I will play those Outriders.
How many Outriders do you own, Ryan?
I think I own about 12 or so.
Uh-oh, I own 3. That's roughly 15.
That's exactly 15, Cody.
So we need. Well, he said he owns about 12. So we just need to double those numbers, and I'll run it.
We just need 20 more.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the that is Dark Angels. We got one new unit, one new unit that kind of is meh, and a whole bunch of nerfs. And we got one detachment that would be exciting if anything could go in it.
Yeah, this book has made me very nervous for a potential future Black Templar book.
That I would be, honestly. Like right now, the Dark Angel book I rate Forsaken.
Yeah. What would really have me scared is if I were a Space Wolf player.
I don't think so, because Space Wolves never saw any good. Like, they were always bad.
This is fair. Yeah, there's nothing literally to nerf in Space Wolves.
Right.
Well,
Like,
I don't even know what you could do to Space Wolves to make them worse.
Yeah,
oh, you know what's really funny? On the last data slate, when they gave us points, they have reduced the points of things that are not in this codex. So they have they like, hey, here's the final push. You guys have cheaper units now that are about to go away.
Yeah, have fun with these dead units.
I'm like, okay, awesome.
Yeah, I heard that Deathwing Terminators are going to Legends next when the book comes out for real.
They might as well.
I dare you to model, like, the picture on the left. I need you to model your Terminators like that.
Green stuff.
Also, I want to point out here something that is quite annoying. They have spoiled what the Combat Patrol, you know how they do Combat Patrol as a format? They have given us the list of the Combat Patrol, which I'm expecting is going to be an actual set they sell. And guess how many actual Deathwing units are in this Combat Patrol?
1 of character.
0.
Oh,
Exciting.
In fact,
what's in it?
so there are 4 different units that are in this combat patrol, and I want you guys to see if you can guess the problem. You have Captain and Gravis armor. You have an Intercessor squad. You have Hellblaster squad, and a Blade Guard veteran squad.
Wait,
Well,
which is
the
the
Captain Gravis can go with none of that.
I was gonna say,
Exactly.
why the fuck is he in there?
And
I
he
don't
literally
know.
can't go with anything in Dark Angels, can he?
No. There's no special units, and all the units that appears to be put into this. Now, granted, in Combat Patrol, they have made exceptions for certain units to be able to lead units they normally can't, which
Oh,
I
okay.
think is a
Well, thank
bad
God.
game design, because that means when you move from Combat Patrol to the real game, that unit that's leading can no longer lead the units that you have been playing with them leading the whole time.
Well, I mean, GW at this point is notorious for writing rules that just ignore other rules, so it is what it is. I will
But
say,
yes, I'm glad you guys saw that as soon as I did also. It is hilarious.
my takeaway from the codex and the box and everything is that this stream was a terrible idea. Cody's Deathwing Assault box sales just dropped instantly to 0.
Actually, he sold one today.
I saw
Right
one
before
today,
the
but they
stream.
haven't won
Before the
yet.
stream.
You are correct. Since this stream has happened and his
We've
store
sold
has been
0
closed 100% of the time, he has yet to sell a box.
because of the stream. It's because now they know.
The
What do you
best
think?
part, the best part about this book is right underneath the lion has a full capture of like this diorama of the models fighting, and in one corner you see what they're fighting against, and it's orcs.
Will you be playing Dark Angels again, Ryan? Or are you just going to try the Hellblast and then be done with it?
I'm going to try the Hellblasters, and I'm going to wait to see what the real points be when book comes out and they release the new models. Because right now, the Inner Circle champions you can't buy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not good enough to be 3 for 105 points.
Yeah, I do agree with that. But so when are they coming out?
They haven't released yet. This next week, it looks like they're only releasing new things for Age of Sigmar right now. Because I didn't see anything. They might post something else, but they did post Age of Sigmar. I didn't see anything for 40k yet.
Yeah, GW generally, their kind of method with this is they release the army box like this, and then they release everything standalone about 3 to 4 weeks later. So,
Well, I'm not really impressed with anything that we've shown off here. It kind of this has by far been the biggest wet fart that's been released yet. It certainly doesn't make me excited for codexes to come.
Yeah, when I first started talking with Cody about this one, I said this codex is probably worse than AdMech. That is a hot topic that we can debate sometime, but it is pretty bad. They basically a army that didn't really see too terrible much play. It saw some, but everything that was key about the army that people took, they nerfed, and they gave there's the only buffs in the whole army is the fact that you have like teleport homers, and the Terminator's oath target you don't take negatives for like stealth and stuff like that.
yeah, I would say the only positive that came out of this codex release was that we have held off power creep a little longer.
That is fair. I think that is actually something that GW is very scared of, and that's why a lot of these codexes have been very meh, is because they're scared of power creep. However, at the same time, because they keep doing that, armies that have been oppressive, that haven't got, or they are really, what is the right word? Armies that have been oppressive are saying oppressive because they're not getting the same nerfs as fast as they are focusing on the codexes.
Very true. Very true.
Luckily, in this last data slate, it seems a lot of the problematic ones are now getting put in place. So I think I can't wait to see what the stats are in a few weeks of what happens.
Yeah, it kind of sucks that one of the biggest tournaments post data slate we're actually going to go to, so we'll get like basically no information before Cherokee.
That is fair, although I find it kind of exciting because that means we can be part of that and we might be able to help put the
game.
herb. Because it would be really cool if we can make it high enough for people to take notice on our lists we've been working on since the data slate.
Very true. Very true.
But yeah, I guess next time, I don't know if you guys have any plans for other things, but we can talk about what we are thinking about taking to Cherokee as a future
Yeah,
idea.
I think that should definitely be a podcast. What do you think, Tony?
Absolutely. I'm not going to Cherokee, so I mean, my first step would be planning to go.
Well, you can be the one to ask questions of what we're thinking of when we're building our lists.
True. Cody, I posted one more meme for you.
Let me go look at it.
Well, that isn't a meme for him. That is a meme for. That's not a meme. That's just a true statement. But to be fair, if the right points are there, this attachment is going to be amazing. However, that's going to need to be like 30-point Terminators.
True.
Look, if my Deathwing Knights end up being 30 points each, oh my gosh, I'm running 15. Problem is, I own. Oh, good lord, how many do I own now? 20 something? No, I just bought a box. I own like 25 Deathwing Knights.
I'm sorry to hear that.
But how many Outriders do you own?
That's true.
We need
I
hard
own
numbers.
more Deathwing Knights and Outriders.
I will trade you 1-to-1 Deathwing Knights for Outriders.
Which way am I getting?
You're getting the Outriders.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping the points go down on these Terminators.
Yeah, how many Outriders do you own?
I don't own models. If it's not Space Fish in Robots, I don't own it.
Tony does not own a single model that's not Tau.
Yeah, so how am I going to get Outriders that he's going to trade me that he doesn't own?
I will buy Outriders just to trade you. Brian, I will just buy. If you play Outriders, I will buy you Outriders.
Oh my gosh, I thought this was Cody's bit.
Hang on,
I will take 36 Outriders to Dice Like Ice.
Hang on,
You heard it here.
let's make a list right now. Let's make a list right now on live. Where is Dark?
Make a list. Oh, good lord.
You can't. You can't put them in that attachment yet.
Oh, damn it.
Well, you can. It'll just give you that warning of, hey, you can't do this shit.
True. Let's see how many Outriders we can put on the list.
Oh, where are Outriders at now?
I think they're at 80.
So, Outriders, they are 80. Are we going to put the Invader ATV in with them?
Oh yeah.
Why not?
All right. So that will be. I'm too tired to do calculations in my head. Plus
How much is the ATV?
70 points. So for 6 Outriders with ATVs attached to them, we're already at 1,380 points.
Nice.
Hey, that's 1,380 points of just A+ units. Then you just fill in trash, baby.
Yeah, we're literally talking about the best units in the game right here. Now, what we need like a screen for this list. Is there any kind of bike we could take?
Outriders.
Oh, so true.
Outriders with Scout.
They need to update. They need to update this codex already. I need the Outriders to have the battle line keyword, and for the purposes of this detachment, you can take 9 instead of 6.
All right.
I'm seeing the list one in my head. I'm seeing the Lion, 36 Outriders, and just infiltrators and scouts. Go with the basics.
You're not going to have anyone leading the Outriders?
Oh yes, 3 chaplain on bikes. Done. List written.
I mean, just the idea of the bikes fucking disappearing into strat reserves and then reappearing every fucking turn is hilarious to me. It's like, no, this one's sticky. No, it's not. No, it is. No, it's not.
Well, here's the problem. The Lion, 3 chaplains on bike, plus the Outriders and ATVs. We're at 1955.
Sounds like a list. We're ready to go.
Throw some enhancements in there, baby.
All right, there's your list. Lionel Johnson, 36 bikes, 6 ATVs, 3 chaplains on bike.
Done.
You just got outrighted.
And let's see, what enhancements do you want? You got
we definitely want the scout.
Recon Hunter, that's 20.
Let me pull these back up.
You can take.
Oh, we want the advance and fall back in charge.
All right. You can then take. You'll have 10 points, so you can take the mastercrafted weapon. Or you want to go with
out of principle, I'll run it at 1990. 36 bikes. Sign me up.
All right. There's your list.
I'll submit the list tomorrow.
We're going to Warzone.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, no. No, this is what I'm taking to teams. I didn't tell you.
Oh, good lord.
Post it in the group immediately. Josh needs to know.
I mean, I guess this is called a stat checklist, if I ever heard of a stat.
It is a stat.
I don't know about a check, but good lord.
All right. I have not had enough to drink for this.
Yeah. I think we can probably wrap it up here, Tony.
Hang on. I'm working on one more meme for y'all.
The last one was the last one.
I've got Ryan's reaction.
Dang.
Well, so that is what we have learned. I guess we could go ahead and wrap it up. So thank you everybody for watching. Make sure you join the Discord, join everything. Follow us on YouTube, follow the Twitch, and thank everybody for watching.
Yeah, and thank you, Ryan, for staying up past your bedtime and coming on.
Absolutely right. Thank you for coming up here and publicly humiliating one of your favorite armies in the game.
I mean, they have fallen, but they need to be rejected.
Well, technically, they've been fallen since like the fallen like 30K. Come on, man.
I was about to
That
say,
is
aren't they the fallen?
That's the joke I'm making. Gosh darn it.
Oh, so true, so true, so true. all right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
All right.